see a few times a year, but.
Yeah, I think, we haven't had the chance to play them yet. It's going to happen twice in the next 7-8 days, which would be a big challenge for us. I think they're a really interesting team for us to look at and then obviously play. And we'll start with the look at part. They've been an organization that's trying to build and find their way through things, and I think they've got to that point now. And this 11-game win streak they're on, I hear leaders in their locker room talking about playing the right way and doing things right. I hear them use the word confidence. All of that stuff comes with doing things right and performing. And a big team, great goaltending. Goals against is excellent. They don't beat themselves. They manage the game properly. When you look, an interesting stat for our people, I know the people in Florida probably have done it, but look at their goals against per game, or the numbers in their 11-win streak. It's like 1-0, 0-1-4 was their biggest, and then everything else is at 1 and 2. So they've been able to check their way to wins, and special teams aren't at the top of the league, but they're effective. A lot of their numbers match ours, except for goals against 5-on-5, and we talked about that today.
So one thing that's different about their team, looking at their bottom 6 guys, for lack of a better term, I think they've got 67 points, 31 goals, and their plus, I think it's 11. Looking at my notes last night. Oilers bottom 6 guys, 36 points, minus 46.
Yeah, it's there's a big difference there. I think first of all, injuries come into play there a little bit. Like Connor and Yak would allow us to shuffle around our bottom 6 a little bit more, and we probably get more production. When Bukestad and Puri are considered bottom 6 guys because they have that depth in their top 6, those are pretty good players. But there's no doubt our third and fourth line players have to be more productive than they've been. You can talk about production offensively, defensively, the combination of both, but the plus-minus number is just not in our favor right now. And I think a lot of games are won, and I know Peter thinks it too, with that third line, the mismatch that can be created. And if you look at Florida tonight, if you consider Bukestad and Puri and whoever's playing on that wing, their third line, they can get a lot done.
Do you marvel at how many Yager's still able to do it?
Yeah, I do. It's you have to remember I was around Chris Chelios for 3 years at the age of high 40s, and being around Chelly and to see his passion for the game at that age and his ability to take care of himself when he arrived at the rink, and the commitment level to his body there was exceptional. And from what I understand, I don't know Yarmer personally, but I know enough about him and hear the stories of people that have played with him and are playing with him now. He's that way now. He lives and breathes, and everything he does is hockey. And to be that age and have that passion level to continue on is exceptional. I think we should all tip our hats to him, and even our fans in Edmonton should enjoy watching him tonight.
Role model for a guy who wants to do the ice for young players.
Yep.
Practice is over. Your coach's practice is over. A lot of the players come to the dressing room and just stay on desk.
Well, it's, each individual has to do what's right for them physically at that moment. There's some guys that are fatigued and they need to get off earlier. Other guys need to stay late. But if I'm a young player, I'm trying to take advantage of guidance, instruction, whether it's from coaching staffs or veteran type players, and absorb as much as I can. And so young players can certainly spend a little more time. Old players can too. I don't know if Yogs was always that way or not, but some older players figure it out later on that they really have to train. Nick Lidstrom, Chris Draper, again, I'm going back to my Detroit days. Pavel Datsyuk still probably trains harder than he did when he was in his 20s, just so he can maintain his level of stature on his own team and in the league.
So how do you play that guy in that line?
How do we play?
Yagers.
Well, we've got to play against a team. Yager is their leading scorer. He controls the play a lot with his big body and his ability to play, but he's not Patrick Kane with 68 or 78 points or whatever he has. He's got 30, and to me that's an indication that their team game is good. They don't rely on one player. You know, he has the ability to protect pucks and get his hands away from his body a long distance away, so you can't always go stick on puck against him because you can't reach it. And then he makes plays off of that. But I'm quite sure that the people around him are doing a pretty good job as well.
You've implemented Mark Fane back in the lineup for tonight's game. He played for a year with Yarmouth in New Jersey, practiced against him on a regular basis. Bigger body of the back end as opposed to Hunt.
Yep.
Just the thought of Fane getting back in.
Well, a bigger body against a big team. They have some size. They roll around and use it well. So Hunt is a little bit, obviously, a lot smaller than Mark Fane, and that experience against Yogs may help as well. But there's other players again that we have to be concerned with.
Florida and all and mirror their young players, your young players and say, okay, here's where we can get through or the way they play.
Yeah, they're.
We've got lots of young players.
Yeah, they do. They're the oldest team in the NHL, but they're probably the oldest team in the NHL because of about 4 or 5 players. You know, their youth is. I do it with every team. I compare a lot of different things. Compare their young players and what their production's like and plus minus and all that type of stuff. Our young players are competitive with theirs. I think Drew probably did his homework better than maybe even I did to point that out. But the third and fourth line type scenario is definitely in their favor right now, and we're hoping to balance that tonight a little bit or try and win in that area if we can.
Is there a bit more sense of urgency tonight because it is the last game of the homestand and you guys have quite a few of your next games?
I think 9 of 12 coming up on the road, don't we? It doesn't feel like that because we're going to have our Olympic break in between, but they're all important. They're all urgent. You know, that third period's disappointing because, you know, the Tampa third period is real disappointing. We needed that. Good, I answered it before. You're still going to ask it?
Is there anything to learn from when you lost against Tampa, or is there any lesson, any coaching moment there? Or no?
Yeah, I think you better learn every night, win or lose. And for our group, the learning moment was don't blame the hockey gods. Yeah, they got involved and pucks went in oddly, but there were some other things that happened before that we have to be better at. And I think our group was a little bit surprised when I told them that yesterday. You know, they felt fairly good about their game. They weren't happy with the loss. And all of them were saying, well, how can we score 3 goals on our own goal? I was saying that too. But then when you go back and you look at it, there's some things that we needed to do a lot better if we want the bounces to go our way.
Thank you, John.
Okay.